start recording. Then I'm going to move to my notes and put it in the center of my notes. Let's put it at the very top. Paste. That is going to be the topic today's notebook LM. Then playback and join function. Play back and join. Chat. Okay, in addition to that, I'm going to use bizarre problem step recorder. Check the settings. Make sure it is set to 999 number of recent screen captures to store. Start a new recording. Add comments. And paste the comments I just made. And then I want to add several videos. Several video recording for the next 15 minutes. So I want to add a discussion. Camera. Turn off the add effects dialog box. And start recording. In addition to that, I want to also add Loom, the cloud recorder. So far, we have two recordings. We have a screen recorder running and a cloud and a webcam recorder recording, as well as bizarre problem step recorder. Now I want to add to that maybe I really don't need the webcam because I'm going to use Loom. So let's stop the recording here. Close the webcam. Okay, and try Loom, because Loom has also the video recording. So we'll add the video recording to Loom and start recording so we can time everything. Now I can add a comment with the new oops, I didn't record it, so I want to record the stream. Edit, copy, file, save, and edit as a comment to Pixar problem step recorder in preparation for the playback. Okay. Now I want to stop the recording, save the recording, using the previous file name, and updating it. With regard to notebook headline. Same on web. And then I need to update it for 323. May 2025. It's Sunday. SU for Sunday. The time now is 7:06 a.m. Starting at 7:06 a.m. We earlier started at 6:30 a.m. And the current time is 7:07 a.m. Okay, and that is a zip type of file. Copy and save. And now review additional details to see step number 19. Okay. Start a new recording. Add a comment with the previous recording. Okay. And then paste it at the top of my notes. Edit, paste. Then file, save as, and save it to the log file. Paste it over the previous file name and change it from zip to text. It will be here. Delete .txt. Okay, I think we got it now. Copy to the clipboard, save it, then add a comment. For this file name, and then type in the notepad, edit, paste, file, save. Now with this, all this preparation to play back and discuss, position camera, 360, I will reposition it so I can capture the screen more from the center. Turn it around. So I can play it back. Let's hear what happens, right?
Hey there, welcome back. Today we're going deep on something that's really at the forefront of a lot of discussions right now. We're talking about IT and AI, and more specifically, conversational AI, and how it's starting to really show up in all facets of what we do in the university, whether it's teaching, research, community service, and even those oh so important promotion discussions.
Yeah, you hit it right on the...
Did it crash now? This is the question. Need some time, but it looks like it was. Probably. Maybe what we should do is save that discussion. Provide a different giveaway. Response period. Hunger.
Hey there, welcome back. Today we're going deep on something that's really at the forefront of a lot of discussions right now. We're talking about IT and AI, and more specifically conversational AI, and how it's starting to really show up in all facets of what we do in the university, whether it's teaching, research, community service, And even those oh so important promotion discussions.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. And you've pulled together a really interesting collection of YouTube video transcripts, a real mix there of business insights, some actual tech demos, and then even that educational perspective, which I think is so key for our audience. And so, what we really want to do today is kind of mine those transcripts for those practical takeaways. You know, how is IT and AI actually being talked about, and what could that mean for you, our listener, in your work day to day, and even kind of longer term in your career at the university?
Okay, so maybe we just dive right in. One of the things that really jumped out at me right off the bat is this idea of AI assistants and chatbots. There was a really cool demo of an AI called Lucy, designed for company use, and it could handle these messages like with different tones. It could go from energetic to professional, and then it could send notifications, like through email or text. So I'm kind of curious, how do you see something like that potentially playing out in a university setting, for our listeners?
Well, I think what's really intriguing to think about here is how something like that could really streamline a lot of those kind of routine interactions that we all have, right? So just imagine,
Oh, our listeners got something to share. Let's hear it.
Yeah, Lucy is an AI caller that can handle inbound and outbound calls.
That's right, and it was fascinating to see it in action in that YouTube video.
what's really interesting is thinking beyond just taking messages.
Exactly. The demo also showed how you could essentially train Lucy,
You could point it at a website URL.
and then it could pull information from that site.
That way it could answer questions. It's pretty clever.
And you can even select specific pages.
Right, and customize.
Oh, back to our listener. What's up?
In that respect, it can interrogate the faculty manual of the university to evaluate consistency.
Absolutely, that's a fantastic point.
Okay, let's unpack this. So you're thinking that an AI like Lucy could be pointed at something like the university's faculty manual.
Precisely. Think about how much information is contained in those documents, policies on everything.
And trying to find the exact answer you need can sometimes feel like going down a rabbit hole.
Right, but imagine being able to ask an AI assistant a specific question about faculty responsibilities or promotion guidelines.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because in one of the YouTube transcripts, they were talking about the need for faculty to easily access and understand university policies.
Exactly. One of the speakers mentioned the hours they had to invest to understand a specific policy.
And they wished there was a central place where this information could be synthesized.
So an AI trained on the faculty manual could potentially serve that purpose.
It could provide quick and accurate answers to frequently asked questions about university regulations.
And as that speaker notes, yep, go on.
And simplify the language to a layman language rather than the legalese that nobody can understand and nobody wants to read.
That's a really insightful point.
Okay, so instead of all that complicated policy jargon,
You're suggesting the AI could rephrase it,
make it easier to grasp, more straightforward.
almost like translating it into plain English.
That makes so much sense.
Because if the goal is quick understanding,
Then clear and simple language is key.
absolutely. And you could even train a chatbot
To use that simplified language consistently,
on your lab's website, for example,
or even a collection of your published work.
or details about your ongoing projects.
It would be such a more accessible way,
For other researchers or potential partners,
even the general public could quickly understand.
the key aspects of your work. That's a great angle.
And you could definitely extend that to outreach.
If you're involved in community engagement,
A chatbot using clear language on your project site,
could answer initial questions about getting involved.
or how to find the resources they need.
It really breaks down those communication barriers,
Right, it becomes an always available info point.
which is incredibly valuable.
Now, the discussion in those videos also touched on,
Generative AI and its creative possibilities,
especially for making different kinds of content.
and even for marketing purposes,
They showed examples of creating different artwork.
for things like graphic design and those little intro videos.
The short animations you see in podcasts
There was even mention of AI creating music variations.
for promotional use. It's quite something.
It is fascinating how creative AI is becoming.
So thinking about this creative aspect of AI,
How could our listeners use it in their daily work
well, the potential to really boost your communication is huge.
to significantly improve how you present your ideas?
Think about teaching, for example.
You could use AI to generate clear diagrams,
Really understandable visual aids.
to explain those more complex concepts.
making your teaching materials much more accessible.
Oh, yeah,
And also give a break to professors that sometimes have to teach for 4 hours non-stop.
That's a really important point. It absolutely could be exhausting to teach for that long.
And thinking about how AI could help there.
In the transcripts, they mentioned how technology could streamline tasks.
Freeing up time and energy for faculty.
You know, creating those diagrams we were just talking about.
Instead of spending hours on them yourself.
AI could generate those visuals quickly.
Leaving you more energy for those long teaching blocks.
You could create easy-to-understand visuals.
To showcase your research findings clearly.
In presentations or when you publish your work.
Increasing the impact of what you do.
Yeah,
Especially for foreign faculty that have a heavy accent from Chinese to Iranians to Arabic to African, AI can simplify the language to American accent.
That's a really interesting application of AI.
Okay, let's unpack this. So you're thinking
That AI could potentially help with communication.
by modifying accents in real time,
It's definitely a fascinating possibility to consider.
especially in a diverse university setting,
Think about the potential for clear communication.
and reducing potential misunderstandings.
It could certainly be a supportive tool.
Now, thinking about the creative side of AI,
How could our listeners use it in their daily work?
well, the potential to really boost your communication is huge.
To significantly improve how you present your ideas.
Think about teaching, for example.
You could use AI to generate clear diagrams,
Really understandable visual aids,
to explain those more complex concepts.
making your teaching materials much more accessible.
Yeah, so many students respond well to visuals,
Clear visuals could make a real difference.
helping them truly grasp the material.
Absolutely. And even for community service initiatives,
Quickly create engaging flyers and posts.
for social media to get the word out about events.
Really expand your reach in the community,
It's almost like having your own design assistant.
which is
Oh, go for it.
Especially events like quizzes and exams that are going to affect the students as well as the faculty promotion.
That's a really critical point.
absolutely high-stakes events,
And in the transcripts, they talked about AI in education.
specifically mentioning using AI to create test questions.
But it was also emphasized that the quality still matters.
The AI is a tool, not a replacement for expertise.
You still need that human oversight.
To ensure the questions are fair and accurate,
And thinking about grading those assessments.
tools like GradeScope are, hey, yeah, what's up?
And you can join in an expert just like in Notebook LM.
That's a really interesting thought.
Okay, let's unpack this idea of bringing in more expertise.
It definitely aligns with the spirit of collaboration.
In one of the videos, there was a discussion,
About the value of different departments working together,
like finance connecting with fintech.
or healthcare collaborating with other relevant fields.
The speaker highlighted that even if one department
Holds the primary appointment, there's value
in offering secondary appointments,
to foster that cross-disciplinary approach.
so bringing in another expert could definitely enrich.
The perspectives and insights we're exploring,
It's all about creating those connections.
and leveraging different areas of knowledge.
Now, thinking about those assessments,
Tools can certainly help in identifying patterns,
highlighting common errors, for example.
freeing up your time for deeper engagement with students.
Now, oh yeah, let's hear it.
Also, the assessment of faculty members in promotion review discussions.
That's a really interesting point to bring up.
Absolutely, the assessment process is so vital.
And in one of the transcripts, they actually dove into that
They were discussing the creation of a guidance document
for a faculty member going up for promotion,
and the real challenge of providing that feedback,
without making promises or guarantees, of course.
because those promotion decisions can evolve.
They also touched on the importance of understanding,
The university requirements for promotion,
breaking down research, teaching, and service.
providing guidance in each of those areas,
It really highlighted the need for clear communication,
and a shared understanding of expectations.
which are those systems that connect all the different parts.
What could that mean for you in your daily work?
Definitely more streamlined administrative tasks.
Simpler processes for getting things done,
Imagine AI helping with the grant application process,
or making the research ethics review a bit smoother.
even assisting you in tracking your professional growth,
AI-powered ERP could be much more user-friendly overall.
giving you faster access to the information you need.
The videos also stressed how important trustworthy AI is.
companies are really focusing on building that confidence.
And that proper training is key to using these tools well.
The technology is powerful, but knowing how to use it matters most.
It's about the understanding, not just having access.
And of course, those ethical considerations are so important.
Exactly. Which naturally leads us to the topic of data management.
Right.
And that really important principle of least privilege.
Especially when we're talking about university environments.
Could you maybe explain that concept a little more?
Universities handle a huge amount of sensitive information.
Think student records, research data, faculty information.
Data management is
Oh, go for it.
And don't forget hospitals. Universities own hospitals and run the hospital, and you have a personal record of patients that has to remain private.
That's a really crucial point to remember.
Absolutely. The intersection of universities and hospitals.
And the sensitive patient data involved.
It brings in a whole other layer of privacy concerns.
Which directly relates to that principle of least privilege.
Ensuring only those who need access have it.
And as one of the YouTube speakers mentioned,
with electronic health records, security is paramount.
Especially with so many different systems involved.
The speaker even touched on blockchain as a potential solution. Oh yeah, let's hear it.
University hospitals own drugs that can be sold on the open market by employees that have access to the drugs.
That's a really serious issue you're bringing up.
And it underscores the critical need for robust security measures.
As the video we were discussing highlighted,
there are strict regulations around healthcare data,
ensuring the privacy and security of patient information.
And that principle of least privilege becomes even more vital.
To prevent unauthorized access to sensitive materials.
Which absolutely extends to pharmaceuticals within a hospital setting.
Now that principle also applies to your own research data.
Which, as we've discussed, can be part of promotion considerations.
We've covered a lot of different applications today.
Let's just touch briefly on the underlying IT infrastructure.
The transcripts reminded us of how crucial IT systems are.
Reliable networks and sufficient cloud storage are key.
Along with those learning platforms we all use.
A strong IT foundation really supports everything we do.
Universities are now offering access to various AI tools.
Often from major tech companies with built-in data protection.
They're taking a careful, go on.
Especially for distance learning, where the professor and the students depend on the IT infrastructure to conduct the class over the World Wide Web.
That's a really salient point you're making.
Okay, let's unpack this connection.
You're highlighting how crucial that strong IT backbone is.
Especially when you're talking about remote learning.
Where the entire class experience relies on it.
As one of the videos mentioned, they're already thinking about online versus in-person classes.
And how the technology supports those different formats.
So that infrastructure isn't just a backdrop.
It's absolutely fundamental to making it all work.
Oh yeah,
More importantly, in hybrid classes that are in person and online all at the same time in the classroom and online.
That's a really key distinction.
Okay, so it's not just fully online.
But that simultaneous in-person and online element.
Like the speaker mentioned with their hybrid class.
Where they could have someone join from miles away.
That really emphasizes the flexibility.
And the absolute necessity of a robust IT setup.
To handle both in-person and remote participants.
Making sure everyone has a seamless experience.
Which, as you pointed out, is vital for distance learning.
And it's becoming,
Especially the instructor teaching from a remote location on some laptop somewhere has to have an instant backup and recovery method of a second laptop available anytime the first laptop goes down.
That's a really practical consideration for remote teaching.
Absolutely. The idea of having a backup system in place.
It reminds me of what the speaker in one of the videos said.
About always having backup and recovery procedures.
They specifically mentioned bringing your own laptop.
As a backup in case the school's computers had issues.
So that same principle definitely applies to instructors too.
Especially when teaching remotely, relying on technology.
Having a second laptop ready could prevent major disruptions.
It's all about ensuring that seamless experience.
You're right, just like for students in hybrid classes.
This need for redundancy is becoming increasingly important.
And this all supports holding virtual meetings globally.
Allowing for effective communication and connection.
In our increasingly digital academic world.
These kinds of proactive IT skills are definitely valuable.
Showing your preparedness in various learning environments.
Including being ready for technical difficulties remotely. Oh, back to our listener. What's up?
especially for mobility, for trips, date, time, field trips of the class.
That's a very specific request.
We're not quite sure what you mean by that.
Perhaps you could clarify your question for us.
In the meantime, yep, go on.
The instructor can stream the class from a cell phone in a field trip in a company or a factory while teaching to show the class what the real world is all about.
That's a really dynamic idea.
Okay, let's unpack this potential for a real-world connection.
It really builds on that concept of blended learning.
And using technology to bridge different spaces.
As one of the videos mentioned, live streaming,
They were doing it for students who couldn't be there.
but you're suggesting taking that further.
Actually bringing the outside world into the classroom.
Imagine a business class touring a factory floor virtually.
Or a science class observing a field experiment remotely.
It would offer such a valuable real-time perspective.
Showing students exactly what things look like.
In a professional or practical setting,
That kind of police observation can be so powerful.
it really enhances the learning experience.
And connects theory with real-world application.
It's a fantastic way to make the content more engaging.
Especially thinking about those hybrid class formats.
Where some students might be, oh yeah,
Like sometimes, like undercover boss, you cannot have an entire class coming in between the shelves of a factory place where the instructor can stream live from a cell phone what is happening into the classroom.
That's a very practical consideration.
Okay, so think about the logistics of it.
You're right, bringing a whole class into some settings,
Just isn't feasible or safe.
but the core idea of bringing that real world view in.
That's still incredibly valuable.
The instructor with a cell phone,
Can offer glimpses that a whole group can't access.
like in that undercover bosses scenario,
You get those behind-the-scenes insights.
while still maintaining a safe environment
So it's about strategic use of the technology.
to overcome those physical limitations.
It really shows your commitment to dynamic learning.
Also consider how this could enhance community work.
Live streaming events or projects in action.
Globally, allowing for broader participation.
So as we start to wrap up our discussion today.
Also streaming live on YouTube Live, unauthenticated and anonymous access for potential future students and faculty to see what actually happens in the classroom.
That's a really interesting point about transparency.
Absolutely, and it brings up a few things we've touched on.
Like in one of the videos, they were streaming live
And making it public on a YouTube channel.
for anyone to view,
They even mentioned how students could subscribe.
to see what was happening.
So that idea of open access isn't entirely new.
And you're right, it could offer a real glimpse
For prospective students and faculty,
to see the actual classroom environment.
the speaker also pointed out you could adjust the privacy,
Make it unlisted, for example.
or only available to certain people.
So there are different levels of access.
But the core concept of streaming for visibility,
It's definitely something to consider.
it could be a powerful way to showcase teaching,
And the kind of interactions that happen.
which leads us to thinking about the bigger picture
The importance of these technologies is clear.
across all areas of university life
Supporting how we learn and share information.
and how we connect with others
Consider how you might use these tools
to enhance your own work
to strengthen your teaching and your research.
and to build your professional profile.
We've covered a lot of ground today.
Perhaps think about exploring live streaming.
Or looking into new AI tools available.
The possibilities are truly vast.
Remember, the tech world keeps changing.
Staying informed is so important.
Taking these steps can really benefit you.
Absolutely. Until our next podcast.
Keep exploring these exciting possibilities,
We hope this discussion was valuable for you.
providing some insights into these innovative areas.
Thank you for joining us today.
Okay, so now we're done. We're going to start by wrapping up Loom. Grabbing the Loom URL, copy it to the clipboard buffer, and post it on the various recording. For example, add a comment to Pissar with the URL of Loom, then pop up the notepad and add put the Pissar hyperlink, edit, paste it into the notepad, file save, and then see if we can play back the video, which is not ready. So refresh Pissar problem step recorder. Stop the recording first, then save the recording, then select the previous file name, correct it by finding errors in the previous file name. Correct the errors. The current time is 7:35 a.m. So 7:35 a.m. Making sure you enable the microphone. Enable. Enable mic. Join a chat. That is crucial because otherwise the join function cannot work. So the user have to be aware that you have to click a button to enable the mic. For the join function to work. Now I want to review additional details to see that this was 89 steps. As I'm starting a new session, new recording, and add a comment, and paste a new file name as a comment in the highlight area and comment dialog box, and then click OK. Let's see if I can play back the video. I still cannot play back the video. So what I'm going to do instead is paste the new file name in my notebook, in my note, edit, paste, then hit a few return and enters to separate. Oops, wrong position. At the end of the file, hit a few returns to clearly separate the current from the previous topics. With a few blank lines, then go file, save. Then try to play back again, and it's still not ready. So I'm going to simply go edit, select all, and edit, copy, and see if I can add a comment to what is it called, Loom. Comment field doesn't seem to be working. Control D, no. So we'll scroll down to edit as a summary. And here we can paste. Then scroll down some more to add chapters. Click on plus, add chapters. And then click on save to save the 3 chapters. this point I want to go up to see whether I can play it back. Maybe I can play it back now. No, cannot play it back yet. So since I cannot play it back, what we are going to do is try that other side of the coin, stop the MSN recorder max and try to play it back. So first of all,